Sanzang and his 3 disciples continue their journey west to retrieve sacred scriptures. They come to a little stream. The water is so clear and sparkly that Pigsy can't resist taking a big gulp. He gives some to Sanzang, saying, "This water is so sweet and tasty." They see a big city called the Kingdom of Women. This is a very special place because only women live there. There are no men at all. Sanzang and his disciples find this very strange, and the women of the kingdom can't stop staring at them since they've never seen men before. They go to see the queen. Sanzang asks her to stamp his travel documents so they can continue their journey. But the queen is so captivated by Sanzang's handsome face that she almost forgets to help him. She eventually tells him to rest at a nearby inn, promising to send the stamped documents later. After Sanzang leaves, the queen starts thinking about marrying him and having a child. She even begins painting his portrait. The queen's advisor decides to help the queen and goes to ask Sanzang about marriage. When the queen's advisor comes to talk to Sanzang, Sanzang and Pigsy suddenly experience severe stomach pain. The queen's advisor asks if they drank from the stream outside the city. It turns out that the stream is called the Mother-Child River. In this kingdom, since there are no men in the kingdom of women, girls who want to have children drink from this river to get pregnant. When Pigsy realizes he's pregnant, he starts worrying about finding a midwife to help with the birth. But Sanzang doesn't want a child because he still has to continue his journey to the west and can't take care of a baby. So he asks Wukong to find a way to solve this problem. The queen's advisor tells Wukong about a special spring in the south that can help end the pregnancy. Wukong sets out to retrieve the water, but he encounters a man guarding the spring. This man is a friend of the Bull Demon King. The Bull Demon King holds a grudge against Wukong for helping Guanyin subdue his son, Red Boy. Because of this, the man refuses to give Wukong the water. But Wukong defeats the man and takes the water. Back at the palace, the advisor tells the queen that Sanzang and Pigsy are no longer pregnant after drinking the special water. The queen invites Sanzang to rest in the palace, and they spend time together, going on walks and getting to know each other. The queen's advisor then suggests that Sanzang marry the queen and become the king of the kingdom of women. But Sanzang says he has to continue his journey to the west, so he refuses. The advisor offers to let his 3 disciples continue the journey while Sanzang stays behind, but Sanzang still refuses. Pigsy even offers to stay and become the king, but the advisor rejects him because of his appearance. Sanzang only wants the queen to put the official stamp on his travel papers so he can leave. Wukong comes up with a plan. He suggests that Sanzang pretend to agree to marry the queen. Once she puts the stamp on the papers, they can leave the city, and then Wukong will use his magic to freeze everyone in place until they're far away. Sanzang agrees to this plan. Sanzang pretends to agree to the marriage, and the advisor tells the queen. That night, the queen prepares a feast for Sanzang's disciples. Meanwhile, the advisor takes Sanzang to see the kingdom's greatest treasure, which turns out to be the queen herself. Although the queen is very beautiful and Sanzang feels tempted, he remembers his mission to journey to the west and controls himself. Just then, a female demon passes by. Ever since Sanzang arrived in the kingdom of women, this demon has been interested in him. She kidnaps him and takes him to her cave, where she also wants to marry him. Sanzang refuses to marry the demon. Angry, the demon starts playing a magical lute that gives Sanzang a terrible headache. Just then, Wukong finds the cave where the demon is keeping Sanzang. The demon quickly ties up Sanzang and goes out to fight Wukong. They battle fiercely, with neither side gaining the upper hand. The demon's lute continues to play, making Wukong's head ache, but he pushes through the pain and keeps chasing her. Suddenly, the demon makes a powerful attack, and Wukong cries out in pain, clutching his head, and has to retreat. Pigsy rushes over to help Wukong and asks why he lost the fight when he was about to win. Wukong explains that the demon used some kind of weapon to stab his head, causing unbearable pain. Pigsy then goes to fight the demon, but he gets distracted by her beauty and starts complimenting her. The demon takes advantage of this and uses her weapon to stab Pigsy, who cries out in pain and falls to the ground with a big bump on his head. A powerful celestial rooster appears on a nearby hill. This rooster is enormous, towering over everyone. He crows loudly at the demon, revealing her true form, a giant scorpion. The rooster, sent by the goddess Guanyin, explains that the demon is a scorpion demon and that the weapon she used to stab them is actually her poisonous tail. He uses his power to heal the bump on Pigsy's head. Finally, the queen puts the official stamp on Sanzang's papers, and although she's sad to see them go, she bids them farewell as they continue their journey. Sanzang and his 3 disciples arrive at a vast, barren desert under the scorching sun. The sand beneath their feet is burning hot, and the water in their gourds is long gone. Sanzang is extremely thirsty as they continue their journey. They see a small town in the distance. Wukong notices they are low on supplies, so he helps them by getting some food, and the townspeople give Sanzang some water to drink. Sanzang asks them, "What is this place, and why is it so hot here?" The townspeople explain, 60 miles from here, there is a place called the Flaming Mountain, where fire burns all year round. Not even metal or stone can survive. Everything melts in the heat. Sanzang realizes they have to pass through the Flaming Mountain to reach the west. He wonders how they will get through such intense heat. He asks the townspeople how they survive in such a hot place. The townspeople tell him that 1,000 miles away, there is a mountain where a lady named Princess Iron Fan lives. She has a magical fan called the Banana Leaf Fan. This fan has extraordinary powers. 1 wave can extinguish flames, 2 waves can create wind, and 3 waves can bring rain. Every year, the local villagers bring offerings to Princess Iron Fan, hoping she will use the fan to bring rain and ensure a good harvest. Wukong decides to visit Princess Iron Fan and borrow her fan. Princess Iron Fan is the wife of the Bull Demon King. The Bull Demon King was once Wukong's friend, 500 years ago, when Wukong lived on Flower Fruit Mountain. Wukong thinks borrowing the fan will be easy, but Princess Iron Fan is still angry with him. She blames him for helping the goddess Guanyin turn her and the Bull Demon King's son, Red Boy, into Guanyin's disciple. This has made it difficult for her to see her child. Because of this, Princess Iron Fan refuses to lend him the fan. Wukong pleads with her, so she offers a deal. If Wukong lets her strike him with a sword 3 times, she will lend him the fan. Wukong agrees, knowing that he can easily heal from any injury. But after the strikes, Princess Iron Fan tricks him by using the fan to blow him away instead of lending it to him. Wukong wakes up in a misty, cloud-filled place, unsure of where he is. Suddenly, he hears someone calling his name. It's Lingji Bodhisattva who asks why Wukong is there. After learning that he was blown away by Princess Iron Fan's fan, Lingji Bodhisattva gives him a magic pill called the wind-arresting pill, which makes him immune to the fan's power. Grateful, Wukong takes the pill and rides his cloud back to Princess Iron Fan. When Princess Iron Fan sees that Wukong has returned unharmed, she is both shocked and angry. Wukong asks to borrow the fan again, and this time, she agrees but on one condition. If Wukong can withstand 3 waves of the fan, she will lend it to him. Wukong accepts the challenge. Princess Iron Fan tries to blow him away with the fan, but thanks to the wind-arresting pill, he stands firm and doesn't budge. Frightened, Princess Iron Fan tries to escape back into her cave, but even after slamming the door shut, Wukong cleverly transforms into a tiny bug and slips through the crack into the cave. As Princess Iron Fan tries to calm herself with a cup of tea, Wukong transforms into a tea leaf and sneaks into her cup. When Princess Iron Fan drinks the tea, Wukong enters her stomach and starts causing trouble from inside, demanding the fan again. In pain and unable to resist any longer, Princess Iron Fan finally agrees to lend him the fan. Wukong returns with a big smile, announcing that he has successfully borrowed the fan, and leaps over to the Flaming Mountain. At the Flaming Mountain, the flames are fierce, and the heat is overwhelming. Confident, Wukong waves the fan, expecting to put out the fire, but to his surprise, the flames only grow stronger. Wukong then realizes that the fan Princess Iron Fan gave him is a fake, and he has been tricked again. As the group faces this difficult situation, an old man carrying a simple meal approaches them. He introduces himself as the local earth god and invites them to eat. Wukong, still angry, questions the earth god about why he allows the Flaming Mountain to exist, causing so much suffering for the people. The earth god explains that the Flaming Mountain was actually created by Wukong himself, albeit unintentionally. 500 years ago, after Wukong caused chaos in the Heavenly Palace, he was captured by the heavenly soldiers and placed in the 8 trigrams furnace of Laozi for 49 days. When Wukong escaped, he kicked over the furnace and 2 bricks fell out and landed here, creating the flaming mountain. The Earth God suggests that Wukong seek help from the Bull Demon King. Wukong learns that the Bull Demon King is now separated from his wife, Princess Iron Fan, because he is having an affair with a fox spirit woman, Princess Jadeface. The Bull Demon King currently lives with Princess Jadeface in the cave of Horde Thunder Mountain. Wukong decides to go there to ask for help. When he arrives at Horde Thunder Mountain, a beautiful woman slowly approaches. Wukong asks if she knows where the Bull Demon King is, mentioning that Princess Iron Fan wants him to come home. The woman's attitude changes when she hears this, and she angrily says, "Go back and tell that woman that the Bull Demon King doesn't want her anymore." Wukong laughs and says, "So you must be the Princess Jadeface." The woman, now furious, threatens Wukong, saying, "How dare you be so rude? I'll have the Bull Demon King break your legs." Wukong, now angry, pulls out his magical staff and strikes at her. She screams, revealing her true form as a fox, and quickly disappears into the bushes. The fox spirit rushes to the Bull Demon King to complain that a monkey has attacked her. The Bull Demon King, hearing this, angrily leaves his cave. Wukong, happy to see his old friend, jumps over to greet him, calling him Brother Bull, and asking if he remembers the times they drank together on Flower Fruit Mountain 500 years ago. The Bull Demon King recognizes him as Wukong, and Wukong praises the Bull Demon King for looking even more powerful than before. The Bull Demon King is pleased by the compliment, but when he hears that Wukong wants to borrow the banana leaf fan, he hesitates. The Bull Demon King feels that Wukong not only bullied his son, Red Boy, by making him become Guanin's disciple, but also mistreated the fox spirit. So, he tells Wukong that unless Wukong can defeat him in a fight, he won't ask Princess Iron Fan to lend him the fan. Wukong has no choice but to fight him. They begin a fierce battle on the hillside, but neither can gain the upper hand. Suddenly, the fox spirit calls out to the Bull Demon King, saying, "The 9-headed demon invites you to a banquet." The Bull Demon King immediately stops fighting and says, "We'll continue this another time. I have other business to attend to." With that, he rides off on his water-repelling golden crystal beast, flying away to the banquet. Wukong follows him and sees the Bull Demon King's beast outside. He thinks that while the Bull Demon King is inside drinking, he can transform into the Bull Demon King and borrow the fan from Princess Iron Fan. So, Wukong changes his appearance to look like the Bull Demon King and heads to see Princess Iron Fan. Princess Iron Fan, having not seen her husband for 2 years, is overjoyed and starts drinking with him. Disguised as the Bull Demon King, Wukong gradually gets her to reveal that the banana leaf fan is hidden inside her mouth. Wukong, still in disguise, offers to take care of the fan for her, and she hands it over. Wukong asks how such a small fan can extinguish the enormous flames of the flaming mountain. Princess Iron Fan laughs and says, "Have you been away so long that you've forgotten how to use the fan?" She then explains the secret of how to enlarge the fan. Wukong memorizes the instructions, then reveals his true form, grinning as he says, "Dear sister-in-law, take a good look. Am I really your husband?" Princess Iron Fan is so embarrassed that her face turns red, and she covers her face, crying as Wukong leaves with the fan. Not long after, the real Bull Demon King returns. When he learns from his wife that Wukong tricked her by pretending to be him and stole the fan, he decides to use the same trick. Disguising himself as Pigsy, he finds Wukong and offers to carry the fan for him, then tricks Wukong and takes the fan back. Wukong and Pigsy then team up to confront the Bull Demon King. They nearly defeat him when suddenly the Bull Demon King reveals his true form as a giant black bull. In his true form, the Bull Demon King becomes much stronger, and Wukong and Pigsy struggle to keep up. The goddess Guanin, knowing that they are in trouble, sends Neza to help them. Neza uses his wind-fire wheels to capture the Bull Demon King by his horns. The Bull Demon King, now defeated, begs for mercy, and Princess Iron Fan rushes out, agreeing to lend the fan to Wukong. Wukong quickly returns to the flaming mountain and begins fanning the flames, eventually putting out the fire and bringing down a heavy rain. The people living near the flaming mountain are so happy that they clap and cheer, laughing and jumping for joy. After crossing the flaming mountain, Sanzang and his disciples continue their journey west. They soon see a large city ahead. Wukong notices some monks in tattered robes and wearing shackles. Sanzang asks a monk what crime those monks committed. The monk explains that they are innocent monks from the Golden Light Monastery but were falsely accused of stealing a special treasure. After hearing this, Sanzang decides to visit the monastery to find out more. When they arrive at the Golden Light Monastery, they see that it's in ruins, with weeds everywhere and the buildings falling apart. The monks lead them into the main hall and tell their story in detail. The monastery used to be very prosperous. There was a special treasure in the pagoda that glowed day and night. But 3 years ago, after a strange blood rain, the treasure disappeared. The king blamed the monks for stealing it and punished them harshly. When they couldn't prove their innocence, they were forced to do hard labor, and some were even put in jail. Sanzang feels sorry for them and decides to clean the pagoda as a gesture of his Buddhist devotion. Wukong is worried there might be danger, so he goes with him. That night, Sanzang starts sweeping the dust off the stairs, beginning from the bottom floor. Wukong lights a lamp to help him see. Sanzang carefully sweeps each step, and by the time he reaches the 7th floor, he is sweating. Wukong takes over and keeps sweeping. When he reaches the 12th floor, Wukong hears voices. He finds 2 demons pretending to be monks, drinking and having fun. Wukong quickly catches one of the demons, called the Blackfish Demon, and asks him where the treasure is. The Blackfish Demon, scared, admits that the 9-headed demon is the one who stole the treasure. The 9-headed demon marries the daughter of the Wanqing Dragon King, who lives in Emerald Waves Lake. After the marriage, the 9-headed demon also moves to live in Emerald Waves Lake. The other demon, the Catfish Demon, escapes back to the Emerald Waves Lake and warns the 9-headed demon that Wukong knows he stole the treasure and might come to cause trouble. The 9-headed demon tells his wife to hide the treasure and gives the Catfish Demon a poisonous pin to kill Sanzang and his disciples. He also orders him to poison Sanzang's white dragon horse. That night, the Catfish Demon tries to rescue the Blackfish Demon by poisoning the 2 monks guarding him. He kills them and frees the Blackfish Demon, but as they try to escape, Pigsy spots them and kills the Blackfish Demon. Next day, Wukong brings the dead Blackfish Demon to the palace and explains the truth to the king. He asks the king to release the imprisoned monks. The king, seeing that the Blackfish Demon is just a fish, doesn't believe Wukong and says he will only release the monks if they bring back the missing treasure. The Wanqing Dragon King asks his son-in-law to return the treasure, warning that Wukong will cause trouble. But the 9-headed demon confidently says, "Don't worry, I have a plan." Wukong and Pigsy then go to the Emerald Waves Lake and demand that the 9-headed demon return the treasure. The 9-headed demon denies stealing it and offers them tea. But Wukong, suspecting a trick, switches his cup with the Wanqing Dragon King's cup. The Wanqing Dragon King drinks the poisoned tea and dies. The 9-headed demon becomes furious and attacks Wukong and Pigsy. They fight fiercely until Erlang Shun, a warrior from heaven, arrives to help them. Erlang Shun shoots off the 9-headed demon's 9 heads with his arrows, and Wukong finishes him off. Meanwhile, the Catfish Demon tries to poison Sanzang's white dragon horse but is caught by Sandy. The Catfish Demon admits that he was following the 9-headed demon's orders. The white dragon horse, angry, rushes to the Emerald Waves Lake to confront the 9-headed demon's wife. It turns out that the 9-headed demon's wife was once engaged to the white dragon horse, but she betrayed him by being with the 9-headed demon. The white dragon horse demands that she hand over the treasure. Knowing that the 9-headed demon has been defeated, she tries to get back together with the white dragon horse and offers the treasure as a gift. The white dragon horse pretends to make up with her and asks her to show him the treasure. As soon as she takes out the treasure, he immediately takes the treasure away. Wukong returns the treasure to the Golden Light Monastery, and the king, finally understanding the truth, frees the monks. The pagoda once again shines with light, and the monastery is restored to its former glory. Sanzang and his disciples continue their journey. They arrive at another temple and enter the main hall. Inside, they see statues of 500 monks lined up on either side, all in different poses. In the center, they see a figure that looks like the Buddha sitting on a high lotus throne. Sanzang immediately kneels down, but Wukong, not fooled, uses his special vision to see through the illusion and realizes that the Buddha is actually a demon. He pulls out his magical staff and shouts, "Demon, take this." The demon throws a magical golden bowl at Wukong, trapping him inside, and then reveals his true form. It turns out that the entire temple, including the statues, were all tricks created by the demon. With Wukong trapped, Pigsy and Sandy try to fight back, but they are quickly captured and tied up by the demon's followers. Sanzang is also captured and can't escape. Feeling victorious, the demon orders his followers to lock up Sanzang and his disciples, planning to eat Sanzang to celebrate. Trapped inside the golden bowl, Wukong tries to break free with his magical staff, but the bowl is too strong. He then transforms one of his hairs into a sharp tool and starts poking at the bowl, but no matter how hard he tries, he can't make a crack. Frustrated, Wukong wonders how he will ever get out. Meanwhile, Pigsy uses his mouth to untie Sandy's ropes, and the two of them manage to escape. They try to free Wukong, but the golden bowl is too heavy to lift and impossible to open. Left with no other choice, they decide to ask for help from heaven. The 28 mansions from heaven arrive to help. They each use their weapons, swords, spears, and knives, to try and open the golden bowl, but after half an hour, the bowl remains tightly sealed. One of the mansions, named Golden Dragon of Neck, says he has an idea. He has a very strong horn on his head. He tells Wukong, "Great sage, I'll use my horn to make a crack in the bowl. If you see a bit of light, you can turn into wind and escape." Wukong agrees and gets ready to act. Golden Dragon of Neck aims his sharp horn at the golden bowl and pushes with all his strength. The other 27 mansions also help him. They all work hard, and finally, Golden Dragon of Neck's horn pierces into the bowl. But the bowl grips his horn tightly, leaving no gap at all. Wukong, thinking quickly, comes up with an idea. He says to Golden Dragon of Neck, "I'll drill a hole in your horn, turn into a small insect, and crawl inside. Then you can pull your horn out, and I'll escape with it." Golden Dragon of Neck agrees. Wukong turns his magical staff into a drill and says, "Golden Dragon of Neck, bear with the pain." He then drills a small hole in the horn. Golden Dragon of Neck grits his teeth as sweat drips from his forehead. Once the hole is made, Wukong transforms into a small insect and crawls inside, saying, "Now, pull it out." The 28 mansions pull with all their might, and after much effort, they finally manage to pull Golden Dragon of Neck's horn out of the bowl. Wukong escapes along with it. He returns to his original form, takes out his magical staff, and smashes the golden bowl to pieces. The demon is sleeping soundly when suddenly he hears a loud crash. He jumps up and asks, "What's going on?" A small demon quickly reports, "Wukong has escaped from the golden bowl and smashed it to pieces with one strike." The demon grabs his spiky club and gathers his demon soldiers to block Wukong's way. He steps forward and introduces himself as Yellow Brow's Great King. He says he captured Sanzang because he wants to take his place on the journey to the west. Wukong says the demon is foolish for believing he can just take Sanzang's place and get the sacred scriptures from the Buddha. But Yellow Brows doesn't care. He suggests a challenge, saying if Wukong can beat him, they can keep going. But if Wukong loses, then Yellow Brows will go instead and claim the scriptures. Wukong and Yellow Brows start fighting. They battle for 50 rounds, but neither of them can win. Yellow Brows realizes he can't beat Wukong, so he secretly takes a magic cloth bag from his waist and throws it into the air. The bag sucks in Sanzang, his disciples, and even the 28 mansions who were helping them. Yellow Brows quickly ties up the bag as he heads back to his cave, feeling victorious. Back in the cave, Yellow Brows celebrates by eating and drinking until he gets drunk. Wukong, who had turned into a gust of wind, escapes from the bag and frees everyone else. They quietly sneak out of the demon's cave through the back door. After saying goodbye to the heavenly soldiers, Wukong is ready to continue the journey with his master. But then Sandy notices that their luggage is still with the demon, and it has important things like their travel papers and a special robe from Guanyin. Wukong tells Pigsy and Sandy to protect Sanzang while he goes back to get the luggage. Wukong sneaks back, grabs the luggage, and catches up with the group. But when he looks back, he sees the demon chasing after them. Yellow Brows takes out his magic bag again and throws it into the air. Wukong somersaults into the sky, escaping the bag. But Pigsy, Sandy, and Sanzang get sucked in. Wukong isn't sure what to do next when suddenly, Maitreya Buddha appears from the sky. He tells Wukong that the demon is actually one of his servants, Yellow Brows, who ran away while the Buddha was attending a ceremony. The magic bag is also a treasure that Yellow Brows stole when he left heaven. The Buddha tells Wukong to lure the demon into a watermelon field. Wukong asks, "But what if he doesn't follow me?" Maitreya Buddha smiles, writes a symbol on Wukong's palm, and says, "Show him this symbol, and he'll follow you." Wukong looks at his palm and sees the word ban. Wukong goes back to the cave, just as Yellow Brows is about to use the magic bag to capture him again. Wukong quickly opens his hand and shows him the word ban. When Yellow Brows sees the word, his eyes go blank, and he follows Wukong without thinking. When they get to the watermelon field, Wukong sees an old man sitting under a shade structure, fanning himself. This old man is actually Maitreya Buddha in disguise. Wukong, using his special vision, sees through the disguise but decides not to say anything. Instead, he transforms into a large watermelon and blends in with the others. Yellow Brows looks around and notices that Wukong is gone. All he sees is a field of watermelons. Feeling thirsty, Yellow Brows asks the old man if the watermelons are ripe. The old man smiles and says they are, so Yellow Brows asks him to pick one to eat. Maitreya Buddha pretends to be unsure of which one to pick. Just as he's hesitating, a large watermelon, which is Wukong in disguise, rolls to his feet. Maitreya Buddha smiles and hands this watermelon to Yellow Brows. Yellow Brows smashes the watermelon open and starts eating it greedily. After a few bites, Yellow Brows suddenly clutches his stomach in pain because Wukong is causing chaos inside his stomach. Maitreya Buddha reveals who he really is and starts laughing. Scared, Yellow Brows drops to his knees and begs for mercy, calling the Buddha master, but the Buddha tells him to beg Wukong for forgiveness instead. Yellow Brows quickly begs Wukong for mercy, admitting he was wrong and asking to be spared. After Wukong leaves his body, Yellow Brows runs away in fear. Maitreya Buddha then takes back the magic bag, frees Sanzang and the others, and uses the bag to capture Yellow Brows, putting an end to his mischief. Sanzang and his disciples arrive in a place called Zhuzi Kingdom, where the king has been suffering from a mysterious illness for a long time and hasn't been able to get better. The king, desperate to be cured, puts out a royal decree, promising to give half of his kingdom to anyone who can heal him. The news spreads quickly, but despite many experts trying to help, no one can cure the king. When Wukong hears about this, he takes the royal decree and says he's willing to give it a try. When the king meets Wukong in the palace, he's so scared that he faints as soon as he sees Wukong because Wukong doesn't look human. To avoid scaring the king again, Wukong uses a special skill called suspended pulse diagnosis. This skill allows him to check the king's pulse from a distance by using a string. After diagnosing the king, Wukong concludes that the king is suffering from double bird separation syndrome, which is a fancy name for lovesickness. The king is surprised but agrees that the diagnosis is accurate since he has been missing his wife, who disappeared. Wukong then prescribes a special medicine. Each ingredient in the medicine weighs 3 pounds, and the total weight of the medicine is 2,400 pounds. The king is doubtful about such a large dose, but Wukong explains that the medicine needs to be this strong to work. Wukong actually keeps the real recipe a secret, pretending that it's very complicated. In reality, the medicine is simple, a mixture of ashes and horse urine rolled into pills. He says the medicine must be taken with rootless water, which is rainwater that hasn't touched the ground. Wukong then asks the Dragon King to make it rain, and they collect the rainwater in a bowl. After taking the medicine with the special water, the king miraculously recovers. The king, now healthy and overjoyed, throws a feast to thank Sanzang and his disciples. During the feast, he reveals the real reason he was sick. His wife had been kidnapped by a demon named Sai Tai Sui, and this caused his lovesickness. Hearing this, Wukong quickly takes action. He sneaks into the demon's cave and uses the king's token to gain the trust of the queen. The queen tells him that Sai Tai Sui has a powerful magic bell called the Purple Gold Bell, which is very dangerous. The bell was made in Laozi's 8 trigrams furnace and has the power to create fire with 1 shake, smoke with 2 shakes, and a sandstorm with 3 shakes. Wukong convinces the queen to trick Sai Tai Sui into giving her the magic bell. The queen pretends to flatter Sai Tai Sui and offers to keep the bell safe for him. Sai Tai Sui, trusting her, hands over the purple gold bell. Wukong then swaps it with a fake bell. Wukong and Sai Tai Sui have an intense battle, with Wukong using the real bell against Sai Tai Sui's fake one, giving him the upper hand. Just as Wukong is about to finish off the demon, Guanyin suddenly appears and reveals that Sai Tai Sui is actually her mount, who ran away and caused trouble. In the end, Guanyin takes back her mount and the magic bell, and leaves. The king and his queen are finally reunited, and the king's illness is completely cured. And that's it for the 4th part of Journey to the West. The adventure is far from over. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching.